Hello, and welcome to Classes in C Sharp. Classes are useful if we want to create real-world objects with traits and behaviors. Classes allow for the following. It allows for encapsulation, polymorphism, reusability, inheritance, separation of concerns. I will go into detail with this in other videos, but for now, let's make a class called person. Pause if you need to, but the general consensus when it comes to making a class is to specify the access modifier being public or private, then typing the keyword class, followed by the class name. It then follows a set of curly braces, and within that we have some code. In the following code, we are going to write up the traits of a class, and basically this defines what a class is. As we know, people have a name, surname, and age. And all of these properties are going to be set to public so we can publicly access them. Next, the name and surname are going to be of type string, while the number value, which is our age, is type integer. We now move on to the constructor, which allows us to initialize a real world object. Within the brackets is what we call the parameters, and in order for us to create an object, we have to fulfill the values needed for the parameter. That means we need to pass in a name, surname, and age, as that's what I have defined. As you can see, whatever values are passed in will then be accordingly saved and assigned to the properties. The properties being
To make a
uppercase
method,
and
we will
the
have to
parameter
specify
variables
its
being
access
lowercase,
modifier being public or private, or in another case protected, following by its return type. If we are returning a string, for example, then we would specify string in this position, and if not, we will then just leave it as void. So we will actually type the keyword void, void, followed by the method name, and then a pair of brackets for the parameters. If there is no arguments for you to put within the brackets, then we can leave that as empty. Next, we have a curly brace, which will have some code in between. And like I said, if the return type is void for the method, we simply do not write the keyword return followed by a specific type to return. Else, if the return type is something, for example, string or integer, we will write the keyword return and then have some value of that type to return after that, followed by a semicolon. Next, we move into the behavior of the class, and this is the methods or the method codings of a class. And for this, I have chosen to make the person be able to speak. We will print in the console, hello world, my name is, followed by whatever the name and surname values are passed in. Yes, I know I coded up an age. I did not use it. Okay, I'm just showing you the basics and that's all that matters, as long as you understand how to pass it in. Now I am just going to delete these comments. Just going to delete these comments, and we are actually going to code up the object. So as you can see, I pass in a name, a surname, and finally an age. My age being 69. Nice.
Now that I have everything, I guess we can just call the method and run it, right? Wrong. While this may look correct and I have passed in the correct values required to make the object, firstly, the name and surname are not named. And if this were to be in a larger scale project, this would be harder for people to read as they'd have to follow and turn between the different classes to see if the correct parameters are being passed in. Secondly, we have a magic number. A magic number is a number that just randomly appears without any context. Okay, so in order to follow good coding standard, we are just going to take out these values. We are going to make according variables for them that we will name appropriately, assign these values to them, and then pass those variables into the constructor. And finally, we will call for the speak method, which is the behavior of the class, and this will then print in the console the name and surname of the object that were passed into the constructor. Okay, as you can see, we have defined a person object, no errors are thrown, and I'm just going to run this. And look, hello world, my name is Shravan Ramjatan. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. It's free, it doesn't hurt. Okay, take care.